Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another review, and today I'm going to be taking a look at this right here, the 1/44th scale option parts set Gunpla 15 Cavalier Aifrid. This of course is from the Gundam movie Gundam Seed Freedom, and as usual this video right here would not have been possible without those awesome people over at Hobby Link Japan, so if you do want one of these big bad boys of your own, link is down there in the description. So jumping right on into the build, and first off here is the box. So this is the option set Gunpla 15 Cavalier Aifrid, and it is a mobile suit. Well, it's not a mobile suit, but it is a model kit in its own right. It's a very big piece for just a option set. Inside of it we also have a stand because this is a flying unit, and we do have the railgun, the high grade version of the railgun from that Seed Freedom movie. On the sides of the box, we can see what we're going to be seeing in here. That is the loadout inside. We do have some backpack adapters, which is always nice to get inside of a box. There's what this will look like. We've got missile pods, wings, railguns, a whole lot going on. And as you can see, this does work with the Seed version of the Zagok, which is this kit right here, which I will highly recommend. It's the best Zagok I have ever built. Now, I haven't built the master grade Zagok from Gundam UC, so that's something I really should get around to. Anyway, looking good, can be used with pretty much any kit with the backpack adapter. So there's the old school Revive Gundam by the looks of things. And around then on this side, we can see it being used with the high grade Zagok as well as the high grade Dagger L. So this is usable with the high grade series, as it says, compatible with it. When it does come to what's inside of the box, I've already built it before. So this is a kit I did build when it came out, I just never got around to reviewing it. There are some very unique shaped runners in here with some of the large single piece parts that are in here. Anyway, as for what this looks like once built, this is it right here. So let's jump right on into the aesthetics. So anyway, jumping right on into the aesthetics, and this right here is the high grade, well it's not a high grade, the 1/44th scale Cavalier Aifrid out of box popped together. And this was a more interesting build than I ever thought it would be. It's made out of a ton of singular large parts, and then a lot of nice little details, especially the stickers used to recreate these parts right here. Now I left two not on it yet, so we can check them out together. But overall, I'm quite impressed. Inside of the box, we do have one included stand, which is one of Bandai's newer action bases, the Action Base 7. So that is incredibly handy because, of course, this thing is a flight unit, so it will need to be attached on. This does need one of those 3mm adapter sections. One is included, and then that will just pop on into that 3mm point around back. And, maybe they should have included something a little better. So I will mention I did pick up the wrong one of these. I've got a whole bunch of these lying around, but I will mention this one right here showing something that these stands do actually get, so be careful. And that is, I'm not sure how visible this will actually be in video. I think you can see it right there. This is cracked, which has taken all the strength out of it. So the plastic in these action bases is not great. So yes, you do not need an adapter because the way you build this is with the actual 3mm on it. That is a build option with this particular stand right here. And this one is brand new. So this is the one from the actual set itself. I did mix it up, and yeah, still not the best option for this particular thing. Bandai, you may need to improve your stands. So yeah, that's why I usually recommend this for kind of high grade or 1/44th scale kits. This is a Good Smile Company simple stand. It is $3 for $12 or euro, and these have screws and bolts in the side so you can tighten them up with a screwdriver. They're also made of a very robust plastic. They don't break that easily, but you can break them. I've broken the 3mm peg off them occasionally, and this, even though it might start flopping at first, you can actually just whip out the old screwdriver and give these a little bit of a tighten up, just like that. And there we go, not too bad. I will admit, still struggling this stand right here. It's a larger unit than I expected at all. When I actually built this, I didn't expect it to be so big. There is a standard high-grade Gundam beside it, so this is huge. Of course, it is to pop onto the already massive Zagok. Not sure how this simple stand will deal with that amount of weight, but first, let's take a look around the finished unit and see what we've got to see. So when it does come to the 1/44th scale Cavalier Aifrid, I'm just going to call it the Cavalier from here on out just for the sake of brevity, this has an absolutely massive wingspan. Once again, just throwing a high-grade Gundam in there so you can check out the length. And if you are actually curious about the full length of this, it's about 41 centimeters, give or take. So this is a very large unit. When it comes to the color separation on this is simple but not lacking. We've got two shades of gray. That is a lighter shade of gray and a slightly darker shade of gray. And this is all highlighted off then here and there with some splashes of white. The vast majority of the detail on here isn't actually color separated parts, it's mainly panel lines and molded details. So if you do like painting in some details as well as panel lining up a kit, this will definitely be fantastic for that. If you find panel lining super relaxing like I do, this is one you could sink a nice bit of time into. When it does come to the details and the visuals on this particular kit right here, one part does definitely stand out, and this is this front section here with these nice little colors. So these are the kind of three-dimensional stickers you usually see mainly on more premium Gundam kits, not necessarily option sets or high grades. So these are three-dimensional. I'm pretty sure they're the same as that absolutely massive sheet of stickers coming up on the perfect grade new Gundam. These do catch the light as they are actually plastic, not just a foil sticker. And as you can see, these actually have a mirror finish, a full mirror finish to them, not like usual Gundam stickers. You can actually see the lens of the camera right in them. It is that clear a reflection. When you do actually peel these, you can see they are maybe like 1/3 of a millimeter thick. So this is actually pretty robust, not just a sticker, and these are two I haven't applied just yet, so you can see the kind of effect they have. These two are for attaching onto these little segments right down here, so I'm going to throw them on. Because these are three-dimensional, it means they won't lose their shape, so when you are attaching them on, you're not going to get any of those kind of folds or little like divots or scratches or any of that stuff you can get on regular Bandai stickers or foil stickers for cameras. So there we go, there is the last two of those attached on. There is also a big blue one on underneath here. So a lot of these for the kind of front sensors. That looks really good. Looks a little bit like an old school gamepad, just kind of mirrored to me. So when it does come to the individual articulation on this particular kit right here, the wings can fold upwards like so for, I'm guessing, a stowed away position. They also flip down to the bottom too. We've got a bit of a turret up top which has rotation, which is always extremely nice. On the underside, we've got looks like a front skirting armor that flips up just like so. And we do have these flaps back here. Again, these are just simple hinges like this. Down on the very inside here, we've got this sliding mechanism, which as you can hear, does have a bit of a ratcheting system to it. And this can rotate around as well for attaching on whatever particular mobile suit you're going to pop in underneath. Finally, then we do have these railguns that can move down like so, point directly down towards the ground or point forward, so they don't actually move out of the way entirely. Next up, we do have these opening segments right here, which lead on into the missile pods. We've got these on the left and right hand side, and I will mention these are meant to be in red, so if you want these to be color accurate, you will have to detail both of those up yourself. So jumping now into the accessories, and there's quite a bit inside of this particular option set right here. What we get, of course, is the Cavalier itself, as well as an Action Base 7. On top of that, then we do have the railgun from the Gundam movie Gundam Seed Freedom, and then we've got a whole ton of adapters. Now, I did notice one of the smaller ones seems to have gone AWOL on me. We've got some small ones and a whole bunch of cool backpack adapters. So now taking a look at everything that comes inside of the box, and first off we've got the railgun. This right here is quite simple. We do have a moving handle on the side, moves like so. It is all in the one shade of grey. That handle also does feel a little bit on the loose side. It pops off very simple because again, evil C-clip on there. And this right here is a big old sticker. Now this is a wrap around sticker, which does make it quite difficult to attach. So the blue little section there and the red is all one piece, which makes it wrap around like so. Also, we do have a little hole on the side there, as well as here is for these 5 included adapters right here. Now these are for attaching this particular weapon onto 4 different mobile suits, 2 of which are for attaching it onto the Mighty Strike Freedom, 1 is for attaching it onto the Infinite Justice Type 2, 1 is for on the Destiny Gundam Spec 2, and the other is for attaching it onto the Gyan Strom. So I'm going to go with the kit that I have the closest to me, which is this right here, the Mighty Strike Freedom. So we do have 2 options. One is for attaching it on to the butt flap around there, and the other is for attaching it onto the side skirting armor with the railguns. In order to do that, you just pop this adapter right on into the slot like that, and that then pops right on into the side skirt just like so. This railgun right here can also be used with the same 4 aforementioned mobile suits and probably the entire Seed Freedom line, as I think all the hands are compatible. And to do that, you just pop off the hand, sandwich the handle into the hand just like so, so great fit. There is the back on, Then you just pop that ball joint hand on in like so, get it into a little bit of a pose like this right here, and that is what it looks like attached into the hand of a mobile suit, so looking pretty good. Overall, it's not too bad of a weapon. It is definitely a shame about the color separation on the lens right there being a big old sticker. Again, not the worst thing to detail up yourself, but not the easiest either, so a little bit disappointing. And also, I will mention, just in case you didn't see my Real Grade Sword Impulse Spec 2 video, there is a railgun included with that kit, which is this one right here. Not to be mixed up there, and not the exact same railgun. The one that comes with the Real Grade is infinitely nicer. Sadly, it does have a standard sticker for the lens, but even if you see the business end right here, looking so much fancier and wigglier than what we see on the high grade. But then again, it is non-grade 1/44th scale versus real grade. So next up in here when it comes to the accessories is a whole bunch of adapters. First up is this one right here. This is for attaching either the Infinite Justice Spec 2 or the Zagok into the inside of this unit. So that is a this unit to Zagok adapter. In pretty much the same sort of way as that last one, there's these ones right here. That is a this unit on this side, as you can see. So that is for attaching onto the inside of the Cavalier. And on the other side, we've got one 3mm peg or 2mm peg adapter. So that, of course, is striker pack adapters, the one on the left. So anything that would have used a 1-point striker pack, like the Strike Gundam or the Dagger. And on the other side, then, is a 2-point standard backpack adapter for attaching any standard high-grade kit into this. Now this one right here is definitely worth its weight in gold. This is a Infinite Justice or Zagok adapter. And as you can see, that's the Infinite Justice or Zagok side. And right there is so important. That's the reverse side. So this is a standard backpack, a 3-peg backpack, or a single peg backpack adapter. So if you ever wanted to throw some cool backpacks onto a Infinite Justice or Zagok, now you can. Now sometimes it's really sad when you've got yourself a Gundam model kit and then you pop off the backpack and you see that you do not have the standard backpack adapter, being the 2-peg adapter. And that is essentially what is going wrong with this particular kit. But now with this adapter, if you throw this on in, we've got a 2-point, a 3-peg, or a 1-point adapter. So you can just grab any kit that you want. I'm just going to go with the aerial rebuild right here because for whatever reason, this has always been my go-to backpack for backpack tests lately. So that is your 2-point standard Gunpla backpack right there, which previously you couldn't attach onto a kit like this. And now with this particular adapter, you absolutely most certainly can. So now it is a absolutely beautiful butterfly right here. So that is pretty cool. So this just attaches on. Of course, there is now a bit of distance in between if you are making a custom kit. Of course, you could make a custom adapter or you could just paint it so it matches a little bit better. But yeah, now you can actually attach standard backpacks onto this as well as the Infinite Justice high grades, which I don't have handy right now, but that was one thing that always made me a little bit sad about those high grades. And just mentioning one more note of compatibility in here, we do have a little bit of a hidden hole on the back here, which is this 3mm hole right here. According to the box, you can steal an arm off an Action Base 6, not included by the way, and just pop this up here. And that can then be used to allow another Gundam kit, whatever Gundam kit you want, as long as it has a 3mm hole in it somewhere, especially down in the Gundam booty hole, well then you can use that in order to allow that kit to green goblin on the back of this thing like this right here. Of course, what is inside the manual is the Infinite Justice yet again, so it's kind of fat-tooming on the back of it, but I just used the RX-78-2 to show you can do it with whatever kit that you like. So finally, when it does come to attaching the Zagok into this, there is two ways. That's kind of lying prone or in a almost full-on combined mecha sort of way. As for the more kind of like a prone or traveling kind of mode, you need to just disconnect this section in here. This is the arm that holds it on. You pop on the little adapter like so. Again, you can use the adapter for any backpack attachment if you want a striker pack Gundam, a regular backpack Gundam, or the Zagok right here. Then you slide it in all the way like so, pop the Zagok onto it, slide it all the way forward, and this is what it looks like. Now I will mention, inside the manual it says if you are using the stand in here, you will need a secondary stand to hold it up at this point, even though we've already seen that you need a secondary stand to hold it up anyway with the included stand, which is quite weak. However, just check this out right here. I'm always saying Good Smile Company's simple stand is the best, and this proves it. This is fully loaded up and it's showing no issues whatsoever holding this kit. Both kits attached together up in the air. So there we go. Also, I will mention there's a really cool feature here where you can actually take the X-Wing style backpack that we had on the Zagok, fold it all around like so, and it slots right onto the back like so. There's also a little bit of an adapter for up here too if you want to attach on a standard striker pack too, which is pretty cool. Overall, that's what it looks like, and again, simple stand supremacy, definitely. I love these stands right here. I wouldn't pop this up on my shelf like this. Definitely not. It's a very low profile base, but it looks exceptionally good. Anyway, next mode. So in order to attach it in the other mode, you just need to pop off the Zagok so you can get on into this little arm section, pull this back and out, and you'll see there's two little clip sections inside, and you attach it into the closer one to the stand itself. That lines it up so you can pop on the Zagok like so it can hang down from inside. And there is one thing I'm already noticing so far about this, like it is massive. So once this is attached onto this is a very large kit entirely. You do bring down the wings like so, and the butt flaps like that, so it's about as armored as it can be, but yeah, no stand of the kind of small variety is going to hold this up. If you want him in the air kind of pose like he's flying, the simple stand right here is going to be too small. However, it does work as a good support with it standing on its legs. This one's going to be too short as well, so overall it really feels like Bandai should have included something a little bigger like the Action Base 8 right here. So this may do a little bit of a better job holding it up. I guess I'll try it out. No, honestly, wouldn't trust that mess. Something else. Alright, how does an Action Base 4 or 5 stand up to the weight of this monster right here? So just popping that on. Yeah, that's not working either. Is this really going where I think it's actually going? Does the OG and the GOAT stand a chance? This right here is the old school Action Base 1. It seems like when Bandai did it first, they may have done it right because, oh, it's having trouble. We do have a screw in here, so that means we do have a mild bit of a fighting chance. Let's get that good and tight. Pop on this massive Zagok burger and see if it actually holds on. The hell? It just killed the peg on the top. It's alright, I got another adapter. Let's try again. Okay, one final chance with this. Hey, hold on. We do actually have another 3mm peg in a little further. That might be a little less murderous when it does come to kind of like the pressure it will be putting onto it. But overall, that kind of works out. But again, this kit right here, it's a slayer of action bases. So finally, there it is, the high-grade Zagok Seed version combined with the Gunpla 15 Cavalier Aifrid. Finally combined, popped up onto an action base, and this thing is a beast that most action bases can't actually handle. The one that comes included, not a chance at all. That will just fail underneath it, and that's it on its own, but the combination is just too powerful for pretty much any action base besides the OG Action Base 1. So if you do want to display this up in the air, with the Zagok attached on in there, that's what you'll need. All the weight is kind of pulling to the front, so the law of the lever puts so much pressure on a standard peg on this thing, or any kind of stand. I will admit it does look crazy cool, it's over the top. This is one unique looking combination to say the least, and I've never seen something like this in Gunpla before. You do get a railgun in here as well, a bunch of adapters, especially the one that will let you use standard backpacks on the back of the Infinite Justice kits, as well as the Zagok. That is a pretty cool one. But otherwise, it's a wild kit, definitely. Some odd design choices. And yeah, there's not really too much to rank about this. It's just such a wild little box. There's not much left to say, really. Anyway, this video right here would not have been possible without those awesome people over at Hobby Link Japan, link in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more Gunpla reviews, and I will see you next time. As always, this video right here and every single video I make would not be possible without each and every one of you guys who watches this video. And special thanks at the end of this video right here to those who support on the channel memberships as well as over on Patreon, including Caleb Engelhart, Joe, OG59061, Scotty Thomas, and Simon.